going on YouTube? Bryce Crispy94 here, bringing you another mini painting video. Now, this video we have some familiars. We did some familiars a few months back. We did a cat, an owl, and a frog. These are more unfamiliar familiars. So let me bring them to y'all so you can see. First up, we have a pseudo dragon. These are tiny dragons that aren't actually dragons, but okay, they are dragons, but they aren't dragons. It's kind of weird, but anyway. So the first one we'll be painting is a pseudo dragon. Next, we have an imp. Very tiny little demons, basically. Really cool looking. Can't wait to paint him. And then third, we have a fire bat, which is going to be my favorite to paint because I get to break out the inks, and I love inks. So, talk more about the paints for the imp and the bat when we get to them. We are starting with a pseudo dragon, so let me grab the paints here. So, it is a pseudo dragon. So we are going with Dragonfire Red for the main color. The rock it is on is a Dungeon Stone. Then we will be applying a red wash to finish, well, not to finish it, but a red wash to the wings mostly, to China, because if you see here, it's got like the spine on the wings. I want it all red, but I only want the red wash in between on the actual like flaps, not the, I don't know what that part's called on a wing, but the like where the bones would be. And then finally, for its horns and claws and eyes, we will be doing Abyssal Black. So, enough talk, let's get to painting. Okay, so Pseudo Dragon is finished. Got an itch on my forehead. Anyway, Pseudo Dragon's finished. Looking really nice and dry. We'll go over it more in detail at the end of the video. Just wanted to introduce our imp here. This little guy. Wings on a rock. Got a weird, almost scorpion-like tail. I'll go over colors real quick. We are going to be using Cambium Crimson, which is a little bit darker of a red than the Dragonfire Red. We are then doing a Dungeon Stone for the rocks. The Cambium Crimson is going to cover the entire body, by the way. Abyssal Black, again, just for these little wing spikes, and then the tail spike. And then I'm going to try. No promises on how it's going to look, but I'm going to try and do Fire Newt Orange on the eyes. But that thing is tiny and I can't see the eyes. I'll go over that with the dragon at the end. And then, honestly, I'm going to throw a shadow wash over all of it, because that's basically what I ended up doing with the pseudo dragon. Because my red wash I thought was darker than what it was. I'm going to give it more, I don't know, red in the wings, and just so yeah, I'm just gonna say screw it, shadow wash it all. These things are so tiny. It actually ended up helping make a lot of the details pop on that, so we'll see if it does the same thing again. So enough chit chat, let's get to paint. Alright guys, we are back. The imp is drying, the pseudo dragon is finished, but I'm not going to reveal it just yet, not until we get our fire bat done. So let's take one more look at the fire bat real quick. You can kind of see the bones there. I'll talk more about that in a minute. But yeah, not a lot going on yet, but once the paint starts adding in, I think you guys will really be able to see the actual figure. So for most of the figure in the base coat, we are going to use the wonderful Amarillo, or yellow, game ink from Vallejo. Love this stuff on clear minis. So, everything. I'm just going to lather it up, let it dry. Once it's dry, I'm going to take some of the Dragonfire Red that we used on the Pseudo Dragon and just lightly dry brush the tips of the wings, a little bit down here on the base. Yeah, probably just the tips of the wings and down on the base. Just very, very lightly and a very, very minute amount of that fire to give it that flame effect. Now, once that's done, I will go ahead and add the Dungeon Stone around the figure. We might do the Dungeon Stone. Nah, we'll figure it out when we start painting. I'll figure it out. And then Abyssal Black, of course, for the actual skeleton that is in the fire bat. Let me show. So this is kind of what I'm going for because that's what they look like. Mine will have a little more flame to it than just that orange flame that they have. But yeah, that is molded into it. It's very hard to see in the crystal, or not clear, but in the clear resin that you can see now. So I'm hoping that once I start adding the yellow to it, I can actually see that sculpt, and it'll be easier for me to paint. But it's thin, so I'm gonna be going really thin with my brush and going. Might actually even use a thinner brush than that one. We'll see. And then just a shadow wash on the base. Probably not even gonna touch it with a wash because I've got a shadow wash right here. I need to give me some more of that. It's getting a little low. I use it all the time. But yeah, so that will complete our familiar. So then I'll bring them out. We'll show them off. The Pseudo Dragon's finished product, the Imp, and then the Fire Bat. But that is enough chit chat for me. Let's go ahead and get to painting. Alright folks, we are back, we are done. All three of our little unfamiliar familiars, as I've decided to call this, are done. So you can see the tops of them right there. We'll go ahead and slide these two off and we will start with the Pseudo Dragon. So this was the first one we did. I did go back through, and I have completely decided that the red wash from Vallejo, I don't know what it'd be good for besides like maybe blood on a very light surface. Because like if you use it to try and like change the tone of the dark or anything, it does not work. So I ended up just doing a shadow wash on all the dragon, but I think it actually turned out super well because it actually gave the pseudo dragon eyes. Because I could not get eyes painted on this guy, but then yeah, he definitely looks like he's got some eyes now that I did the wash. Because like really blanking there. Yeah, I really like how this figure turned out. He is tiny. Oh, there's some like, clay stuff there. He is very tiny, so he wasn't hard to paint, but hey, I got a pseudo dragon now in case anybody needs a pseudo dragon familiar in one of the games. On to the imp. Again, very tiny little guy. I actually got eyes on it, and I am super proud of that. I think he turned out the best, honestly. I love how this turned out. I love the wings. I love the tail. I really, really enjoy this figure. Not a lot to him. Not a lot to any of these. I mean, they're mostly one-color creatures with a little bit of black detail and then a nice black wash over them. Now, finally, the Firebat. And I love the Firebat, and I hate the Firebat. So I love the Firebat. He's still drying a little bit, I just noticed. So I did, in the video, I gave it the red wash. And it just did not show up at all around. I was hoping for like a volcanic rock look with that red wash. And it didn't. So I was like, oh, okay, well, shadow wash it is. So I went ahead and put the shadow wash over it. That's why you guys see the shadow wash still drying there. I love how the dry brushing on the flames turned out. Especially right there around the wings. Underneath. And then you see his wing bones, which my freaking paintbrush slipped right there, so he's got a fat wing bone. But what are you going to do? I opted to kind of like his hip. I left that circle there because there is no bone, even though on here there's clearly no circle, and you can see there is a tail right there. So for you who are thinking like, why'd you do that? That's a tail. Mind out of the gutter. That is a tail. But yeah, I do like the Firebat, but the Imp ended up being my favorite. Just after the Shadow Wash, I just really loved it. So yeah, let me grab them, show them all off one last time before I end this video. Pseudo Dragon, Imp, nope, Imp. The Imp also reminds me of Hellboy. So there's that. And then the Firebat, which I love and I hate, but I love it. And yeah, I hate it. Hated painting it, liked the figure. And I didn't really hate painting it. I don't know. I just have a very weird relationship with that figure. Okay, I'm gonna go before things get weirder. Catch you guys on the next one. Peace.